I'm not trying to scare nobody, but we are in danger. If you haven't been watching the news and checking out everything that's going on, we're in a lot of danger right now. Because the Constitution, the United States Constitution, as we knew it, they about to cut all through that. And we are accustomed to having rights. All your rights, all of our rights is at risk right now. That whole Make America Great Again, as far as this administration and the way he is going and the way things are going, and when they say great again, that means your ass don't have no rights. If you go and watch Joy Reid videos, if you get an opportunity to watch Joy Reid videos, go watch them. You'll learn a lot, especially her video on slavery. Oh, we're going to wait till the midterm election comes. Ain't going to be no midterm election. You better look into getting a dual citizenship somewhere if you can, because things about to get ugly. Things about to get really ugly. Yep, and I'm scared. Scared. It might be a point where we might have to pack up our families and leave, because if ICE can get immigrants or whatever and just go and get them and without their due process in court, why can't they do it to everybody else? Now they're doing it to Haitians. And who do you think is next? And they don't give a damn if you're a Democrat or a Republican. They don't care. Nah, they don't care. Get ready. These white supremacy concentration camps, they're all over the country. They're stocking up on weapons and everything, as if they are preparing for a war. While we out here popping fans and boots on the ground, they got real boots on the ground. Because, and the thing about it is, I don't care what you file in court. The Trump administration defied federal judges' court orders and stuff, because what's going to happen? They can't put him in jail. He has control of the military. What's going to happen if he defies a court order? He's the president, right? Okay. Keep your eyes open. Go to Joy Reid page. Go listen to what Roland Martin has to say. And try to figure out if ICE come and snatch any of us up, what you gonna do? What rights do you have? And even if you have rights, what's the consequence of somebody doing something to you with this administration? Think about it.
First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Quadash, and double honors to those great millstone where our lunch is truth, and also to those elect that is scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great, powerful lesson to the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And the type of day lesson is when your fear cometh. So I like to say Shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope to sweep you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I have a quick precept here in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28 and verse 8. And it reads, the prophets that had been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. Verse 9, the prophet which prophesied of peace when the word of the prophets shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord had truly sent him. So we seen in the opening video, which in fact is everyone pretty much know about Ricky Smiley, which in fact, he's a celebrity. He was a comedian, played in a couple of movies. But anyway, now he's constantly seeing now what's happening, around, what's going on right here in America. He's seeing right now that America is finished. This place, what I'm saying, it's on a decline. Also, he said that he's seeing that, what rights does we have, but who first told you about all these things that he was talking about? The prophets, the men of the Lord, the one that's in the highways and the byways, the one that's making these video epistles. And one thing about it, we already know it's obvious and clear that these celebrities, also these international bankers, they are watching the prophet. So the truth is being declared, throughout the entire world. You know what I'm saying? It's globally, then shall the end come. So right here, he's right, whether he believe it or not, he's what prophesying. So we seeing right now, Ricky Smiley, which in fact, he's still, he supported the 2/3 club. He has received his consolation on his side, and he pretty much is prophesying. So the Lord is pouring out his spirit on all flesh. And right now, we're seeing right now, a lot of people are beginning to see. A lot of people are becoming what? Very afraid. A lot of people are very uncertain, because we living in some very, like he said, dangerous times. And also he said that it's about to get very ugly. And one thing about it, the men of the Lord, we constantly been warning you about these impending dangers. We warning you about Jacob's trouble. We warning you about the hour of temptation. We warning you about the devil's getting ready to come down with great wrath. We seeing it happening right before our eyes. Also, we constantly been warning you about war. We're warning you about evil, or an ill time, Jacob trouble, a time of trouble that we'll never see. We're warning you about pestilence, and the pestilence goes into a plague. So we've constantly been seeing left and right simultaneously in Texas. What's the other one? Another was in North Carolina. I think it was another one I think it was in Kansas, if I'm not mistaken, flooding, storms. So the Lord is constantly visiting the earth that he created. And also he was saying about the ice patrol. Also he was saying about the deportation of Haitian. And he was saying what's going to stop them from putting their hands on the so-called Negroes. And one thing about it, that he understands clearly, he's seeing very clearly that America is preparing for war. And also, we know that we're getting ready to have a civil war, civil unrest, city against city, Egyptian against Egyptian, the modern day Egyptians are the Americans. And also, the Lord is getting ready to set it all up. And the Lord is constantly is moving the chess pieces around. So one thing about it, he said, he made another point where he said that he is scared or he is afraid. But one thing about it, that, we are the true believers of Yahweh by Hashem. He really don't believe. He don't have faith. He don't have works, but he's seeing things happening right before our eyes. He's hearing these things, and he understanding that right now. He knowing that we're living in the end time. And one thing about the prophets are the one that been telling you to go watch Ronald Roland Martin, which in fact, he's another one that's not an unbeliever. He just me, I call him a motivational speaker, that's all. But one thing about it, we already know they're all in bed together. They have received their consolation on this side. They wanted the crumbs off of Esau's table. And one thing about it, now they seeing that this man is getting ready to turn. It does not matter. He already said that in the video that he's not gonna give a damn who he put it, who gets. He don't give a damn if you're a celebrity or if you someone of a reputation, or it does not regard, or in bed with the devil. It does not regard. The Lord is calling this division. And one thing about it, the Lord is constantly bringing the judgment. So right here, that's what we constantly been warning you about, all these different things. So let's read this in the NLT. It said, the ancient prophets who precede you and made and me spoke against many nations It's always warning of wars, disaster, and disease. So the prophets, they always been warning. This man right here, been watching the prophets, obvious, Rick is smiling. Now he's all of a sudden, he's afraid. So all the game's about to be over. This man always to be joking and laughing. Also, he played, I can't think of that character that he played with the dress on, some church lady or whatever, but now he's serious, a heart attack. He's saying certain things he said that he was scared, and also said it's about to get ugly. And then he was saying to get dual citizenship. That's not going to help you. Not going to help you in any kind of way. It's no one is going to escape the hands of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. And also the Lord has not given us the spirit of fear. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, that we already know that 2 part therein is going to be cut off and die. So when you go to verse 9, it says here, in the NL church, read it, it says, so a prophet who predict peace must show he is right. Only when his prediction come true can we know that he is really from the Lord. So they're getting ready to find out. These prophecies are coming to pass left and right. At the end, it shall speak and not lie. So Rick is smiling, but seeing this dark forecast. But one thing about it, he's watching the prophet. And one thing about it, the Lord is pouring out his spirit on all flesh. When you go to Joel chapter 2, it'll tell you that, your sons and daughters shall prophesy. So right now, we're at the end, and he's witnessing it right before our. He knowing that America is finished. He knowing that this trying to be famous and doing what he's doing. He knowing that right now it's time to, to pulling the plug on everything. And this man is even contemplating leaving America. But one thing about it, you cannot run, you cannot hide from the judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. And once again, his judgment will start first at the house of Israel. You wicked Negroes, you wicked Latinos, you wicked Native Indians. It's time to return to your true power while you still have time. And one thing about it, that we're here. So right now, so when your fear is coming. So right now, the Lord's getting ready to chew your delusion. And in that day, they shall know that a prophet was among them. So now, let's get this here. Just a quick lesson through the Spirit. And I decided to Rick Smiley, he didn't even know that he was prophesying. But, the Lord is calling these things to happen. Let's go here to Timothy, Salakia. Let's go here to 2 Timothy. Let me slow it down a little bit. It's just my spirit. I'm just very excited. We're very close, man. We're seeing the signs of the times of year, man. And even the Lord letting the two-thirds see it. They're witness. They witnessed their faith already. Let's go here to 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 1. 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7, Salaki. And this right here, he said he is scared. You know what I'm saying? But check this out here. It said 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7. It said, for the Almighty has not given us the spirit of fear, said, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So one thing about it, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of the time, your faith, and what you have believed. So a lot of people don't believe unless they see it, But the Lord said right here, that once again it said, for the Almighty has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So one thing about it, he said he was scared, but the elect, the Lord gave, did give us a spirit of fear. You know what I'm saying? The Lord, we're not timid. He said, but of power, love, and self-discipline. So that in that time, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of the time, and the just shall live by faith. So one thing about it, your faith is getting ready to be tried. So let's get that right now. Constantly quoting it. Let's go here to 2 Corinthians chapter 5. 2 Corinthians chapter 5. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 7. Let's get this one right quick. And this is exactly how we're living to this day. We're putting our total trust in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, which in fact, we're seeing that Rick and Smile, even though he was prophesied, but he still is carnally minded, thinking about getting dual citizenship, talking about leaving America, whatever. Like, it's not going to do him any damn good. Your curse is going to follow our asses wherever we go until the Lord return, till the Lord take them off of us when he return. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 7 says, for we walk by faith and not by sight. So one thing about it, we seeing these things are happening right before we already knowing that these things are going to happen because we have faith. You know what I'm saying? We believe, and also we have our works. And one thing about it, you know what I'm saying? It said once again, it said, for we walk by faith and not by sight. And one thing about it, the Lord already said, you know, that said, blessed is he that believe and yet not have not seen. So one thing about it, that you know, right here when you go to in the NLT, it said, for we live by believing and not by seeing. So one thing about it, that you know, it said, blessed is he that believe and have not seen. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, that is blind faith and trusting and believing in Yahweh by Shema Shai. This man is seeing this dark forecast, but guess what? We not even worried. We constantly rejoicing. We constantly telling the devil to bring it on. You know, so how long, oh Lord? A DTA, a bob, a ball. We're ready for this nightmare to be over. And this man right here is trying to find some type of normalcy, some type of a safe haven for him and his family. Well, guess what? The two-third is going to be be unalive on this side. And one thing about it, he's in for a rude awakening. You know, so nothing, his reputation, his riches, his influence, none of it, you know what I'm saying, is not going to save him in time of trouble. If you're not part of the elect, you are going to be totally destroyed. So that's where we at right now. Let's go here to Proverbs. Let's get we're going to get a couple more and then we're going to close out. And also let's go here to Isaiah chapter, you know, the Lord said, you know, he told us not to fear none of these things. You know, we're not even worried about it. So this man right here, he's looking at that dark forecast. Let's go to Luke. It's something in Luke I want to get out of Luke right quick. Luke chapter 21 and verse 20, I think it's 25 or 26. I think it's 26 if I'm not mistaken. Luke chapter 21 and verse 26. This is exactly what Rick is smiling, you know what I'm saying? He's not smiling now, you know, and also I had seen this video of Get This Work, you know, and I decided to do a lesson out, you know, it was very edifying to me, and also I hope it's very edifying for you also, you know, and one thing about it, we know that we're very close. So this gospel has reached into the gates of the noble, and one thing about it is that, you know, the truth is being declared. We're seeing it, it's obvious and clear. These celebrities, they knowing exactly who they are, but they're not speaking out, you know, they're afraid. Like he said, I'm scared, but Lord is not dealing with weak, effeminate men. He is going to be totally destroyed. So let's read this right here. Luke chapter 21 said men's heart are failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So that's where we at right now. We coming very close to this thermonuclear exchange. We are very close to these times. So the signs of the times are here, man. We're seeing it left and right. So men hearts will be failing. A lot of people will be having a heart attack. A lot of people going to give up the ghost. A lot of people going to have a vexation of spirit. You know what I'm saying? Jesus, you know, what is I'm going to do? Because they don't have faith and works, and they're going to be terrified. Let's read it in the NLT. It said people will be terrified at what they see coming upon the earth, for the powers of heaven will be shaken. How will the powers of heaven be shaken? You know what I'm saying? By those IBCM missiles, the indignation of Yahweh by Shema Shai. Also earthquakes and diverse, but a lot of things, you know, that laser and terrify. The Lord is getting ready to destroy this place. What we constantly warning you left, right. So, you know, he's seeing right now that, you know, he's very terrified with them Coke bottle glasses on. You know what I'm saying? Look, he's not laughing anymore. Nothing is funny. All the game's about to be over. So that's where we at right now. So that's what we constantly warning you about. And a lot of our people, you know, they see, you know what I'm saying, but they seeing things happening right before their eyes. Let's get that right quick. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 12. I'm about to butcher it. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 12 and verse 2. Ezekiel chapter 12 and verse 2. It says, Son of man, thou dwellest in the midst of a rebellious house, which have eyes to see and see not. They have ears to hear and hear not, for they are a rebellious house. So he said in that opening clip, he said, you know, a lot of our people sitting up talking about boots on the ground and where those fans at. You know that popular, I think is some type of, it's a trail ride, son. You know, they go to these trail ride. They want to be in the house of drinking and being merry while you're twerking, while you talking about where those fans at and popping your boots or whatever, you know, what he said in the video. You know what I'm saying? This devil is getting prepared for war, and also is getting ready to come down on the people of color, so-called color, the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indian. And right now, Ricky Smile is very afraid. He said he's scared. And one thing about it, hey, you know, we go trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. That's why the Lord said, I shall chew your delusion, your troubles, you know what I'm saying, your adversity, you know what I'm saying, your trials and your great tribulation. And one thing about it, we're at the beginning of sorrows, great mourning, great sorrows, great desolation, persecution. These things is right before our eyes. So let's go here. You know, so right now, you know what I'm saying, they seeing it and they hearing it. A lot of people still what? You know, just want to be merry, want to be drinking and being in the house of mirth. And you are in the house of fools. And one thing about it, you know, the prudent man foresees the evil. So that's where we at right now. So now let's go here to Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 4. When we get one more, we'll close out. Isaiah chapter 66, you know what I'm saying, and verse 4. So the Lord is going to chew your delusion. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the prophets are constantly warning you left and right. The Lord said, I have set up watchmen, you know, that will cry day and night. You know what I'm saying? To the Lord, you know, execute judgment. You know, to the Lord set up that righteous kingdom that dwells in righteousness, the kingdom of heaven. It is fast approaching. Also, the great and glorious return of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. It is at the door. We cannot wait. So it says here, Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 4 says, I also will chew their delusions and will bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear, said, but they did evil before my eyes and chose that in which I delighted not. Those are the 2/3. The Lord is going to chew your troubles, your calamity, your destruction. That's what the Lord is getting ready to choose for you. Because one thing about it, when the Lord called, you did not answer. And then how is he calling you? Through his mouthpiece. The prophets, you know, and the ones in the highways and the byway. The one is constantly making these video pistol, whether you will hear or whether you will forbear. And one thing about it, you know, we're standing on our watch and we're standing on fire for Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. So one thing about it is this. We don't fear. We don't give a damn what this man try to do. Even in death, you know what I'm saying, we are going to get that crown of life, immortality, rulership, spiritual power. It is right at the door. Rejoice, ye heavens. So now, let's go here to our last and final script. Let's go here to Proverbs chapter 1. Proverbs chapter 1. Proverbs chapter 1. We'll start up around verse 27. We'll read down. So this is where we're at. When your fears cometh, you know what I'm saying, the Lord, you know, he's not going to save you in time of calamity. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, the warning cry has went out. You know, seek the Lord early. Seek the Lord while he can be found. Because we are running out of time. So let's read this here. It says, Proverbs chapter 1, verse 27 says, when your fears cometh as desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. So one thing about it, we already know that very soon, you know, a lot of people, when they say what, peace and safety or peace and security, a lot of people think they're a good case. A lot of people are going on with their daily lives, you know, being happy-go-lucky, la, 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 then all of a sudden, let's read it in the NLT. It said, when calamity overtakes you like a storm, when disaster engulf you like a cyclone, and anguish and distress overwhelm you. Verse 28 said, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Because one thing about it, the Lord is calling you right now through his mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying? Right now, the Lord right now is in the midst. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He's in the midst of Babylon. You know, his eyes is upon the sinful kingdom. We constantly warning you left and right. The Lord is visiting the earth that he created. And more things are going to pick up left and right. All sorts of calamities, all sorts of catastrophes, fears, anguish, the desolation. The Lord is getting ready to bring. The Lord said, I come not to bring peace, but a sword. So a lot of people are going to seek the Lord early, just right now, Rick is smiling. Right now he's trying to seek the Lord when he has run out of time. He has received his consolation. We are running out of time. So like it. And one thing about it, that we know that we are very close to this time of trouble that we've never seen before. So, hey, we're here, man. We constantly wrong. Let's read this once again. It said, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Because right now they're scoffing and mocking. They're constantly just doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Do thy will, Spirit. But guess what? It's only for a short time. The great fear of the Lord is getting ready to come back upon this earth. Every tongue shall confess. Every knee shall bow down to who? Yahweh. Hashem, Yahweh Shai. That's who you shall fear. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, we already know these celebrities, these heathens, these two-thirds, they don't fear the Lord. And one thing about it, but the Lord is they're in for a rude awakening. The Lord is getting ready to show them very soon. The Lord is getting ready to show up and show out. Verse 30 says, they would none of my counsel. They despise all my reproof. What the prophet, you know what I'm saying? Kept slacking, rejecting, kept turning back on a true power, kept being rebellious, stiff-necked to this day. As of the days of Noah, as of the days of right now, there's no new thing under the sun. Verse 30 in the NLT says, they rejected my advice and paid no attention when I corrected them. That's why right now he's seeing that dark forecast. He's listening at the prophet. He's seeing that these things are coming to pass. Everything is lining up like clockwork. The end is being manifested. The end is being revealed right before our eyes, man. We're here. The Bible is a true book. Verse 31, therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. Verse 32 said, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of the fool shall destroy them. So that's where it's coming to. You want to constantly be simple. You know what I'm saying? You're getting ready to pass on. That's exactly where we at. That's what we constantly want you, left and right. And a lot of our people not going to get it right this time. You know what I'm saying? I want to get this one too. This is the one I want to get. I skipped it. I read verse 26. I should have read verse 26, but the Lord brought me back up here. So we seeing right now that a lot of people right now, it's going to be of their own doing, it's of their own wickedness. The Lord is getting ready to bring forth all sorts of destruction, death, mourning, sorrows. You know what I'm saying? That's where we at right now. 2/3 are getting ready to be cut off on this side because they were that same rebellious house that did not want to return to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Let's read verse 26. It said, Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 26 said, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. That's the title of the daily lesson. So, that's the way the Spirit let me read that last. So one thing about it, who is going to laugh at you? The Lord is going to laugh at you through his prophets. The one is constantly warning you left and right, telling you about war, telling you about an ill time, an evil time, telling you about Jacob's trouble, telling you about the MOTB, telling you about this devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath, the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. We constantly warning you left and right. We telling you about civil unrest, civil war, protesting, rioting. We telling you about this man is getting ready to seek the military. And we're seeing that this place is slowly becoming a military state. We're seeing that now that he's constantly targeting the people of color, deportation of the Haitians, deportation of the Cubans, the Puerto Ricans, also the Negroes. And one thing about it, we already knowing that, he's getting ready to try to bring forth his agenda, his plan. He want total control. You will not be able to buy or sell. One thing about it, we shall what? Once again, it says in NLT, Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 26 says, so I will laugh when you are in trouble. So I will mock you when disaster overtake you. That's what the men of the Lord is going to do. But we warning you right now. It's time to unstop your damn ears. It's time to seek the Lord right now. Wake up. And one thing about a lot of our people right now still are getting rocked back to sleep. But your ass is getting ready to wake up for a rude awakening. That's what we constantly warn you left and right. So the title of the day's lesson, once again, is When Your Fear Cometh. So I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.